Hello, everyone. My guest today is Josh Keller. He's got over 16 years of experience in digital marketing. He's the co-founder of Union Square Media Group and Maximus Live. An expert in native advertising, his revenue has exceeded $1/3 billion in the past 9 years. Has served as a member of board of directors for Spark Networks and SUP ATX. All right, Josh, are you ready to take us to the top?
I sure am.
Thank
you for having me. Appreciate it.
Of course. So tell us about the company. What do you do and how do you make money?
Well, there's a couple different companies within that. Global Agora is a holding company that owns two of the companies that I actually run. One is Union Square Media. The other is Maximus. Union Square Media is a typical agency. We bring in Fortune 5,000 clients and work on a performance basis where we're driving traffic through social. Native advertising is actually our wheelhouse, and email marketing. Maximus is a SaaS product that we then sell to other media buyers to automate their media buys. And Union Square Media is actually the biggest client of Maximus right now.
And walk me through how this kind of child-parent relationship works. So do you own Maximus 100%, or does Global Agora own a percentage of it and it's a holding company essentially?
Yeah, Global Agora actually owns the majority of both companies, and I'm a partner in Global Agora.
Okay. And I was going to say, you look like a young guy. Why would you work for the man? Why not go out and start your own thing where you own 100%? But you're part of the top tier there too.
That's right.
Okay, very good. So let's double down on this interview. I want to focus on my audience are mainly SaaS entrepreneurs. We'll focus on Maximus. So walk me through, if someone pays for Maximus, what are they getting?
They are paying basically $9.99 a month up until a certain amount of spend, which is $150,000 a month, and then it kicks over to a percentage of spend. To explain Maximus, it's better for me to explain actually how I got to the point of having Maximus. So within Union Square Media, we have a team of 10 media buyers that all use Maximus. The reason why I built it in the first place is because I was actually buying the media specifically on native advertising, and it's very fragmented. There's very manual processes, and it's not time efficient, and it's not easy to transfer the knowledge, and that person leaves, and you basically have to start all over. With Maximus, if somebody left, I'd be able to take over those campaigns with another buyer very easily because Maximus is doing 90% of the legwork.
You're talking about like headline, image combinations, targeting keyword, things like that.
So you're shoving in your headline, your images, your landing page, and then Maximus is self-optimizing based on the learning of the pixel placement.
I see.
To the site level. So if you're going to a native network like Outbrain or Taboola, you could be having 1,000 sites. So for you to change each bid on each one of those site placements based on performance, you'd be sitting there all day with one campaign if it was running a lot of volume.
Yep. Now put this on a timeline for me. When did you launch this company?
Late 2017. So it's brand new. Basically, it was in Union Square Media, and it was the single best tool I had to launch and keep and stabilize a team. It became too good where I felt like I needed to share it with others because anyone's doing it the old way. You know, it's like sewing versus an automated sewing machine. You know, you're just not going to move as fast.
So you said, okay, it makes sense to spin this out. It works so good for us. There's a SaaS model here with higher margins than a media business. Let's scale it.
Yeah, because in order for me to capitalize on all the traffic and all the verticals out there, I would need a team of 500 buyers. And that takes a certain level of time. Whereas for a company to directly be using it like an AARP or a Harry's, who's actually buying the media themselves, they don't want to give the business to an agency. They want to run and control everything themselves. It was built for that, so they didn't need an agency. Or if you were an agency that was already buying media, you could build out your team a lot faster.
Now, have you bootstrapped the company to date, or did you guys raise?
No, we bootstrapped. Both companies actually been funded out of the revenue it created. I started in 2008 in my apartment with just myself and built it up. And now between the two companies, there's about 80, 90 people.
That's great. And just again on Maximus product, how many customers have you scaled to over the past couple months?
So there's basically about 25 customers that are paying and about 10 that have just signed up. So we have a 15-day free trial. We're constantly, bringing them on and scaling them up. But the higher the level of spend, the more involved we get in the campaigns. You have a client success manager that helps you day to day to scale your buys.
Yeah, I mean, but Josh, that's pretty good. Late 2017, you spin the thing out. You already have 25 paying folks, and your minimum is $1,000 per month. So I mean, you're already north of 25 grand a month on the new product.
Yeah, well, actually, over 150,000, it kicks over to 7.5%. We have a couple of people hitting those tiers, so that's when the real money comes in, and those are obviously the clients that we're doubling down with the resources because we want them to grow and be partners.
Yeah. So how far north of 25K then per month right now are you?
It ranges, obviously the spend ranges, so it's anywhere between 75,000 and 125,000 depending on the spend.
Oh, that's great. So you're up at 75 grand a month or 125 grand, depends on the month already per month in revenue.
Right. So if one client spent 400,000 last month, but then only spent 300,000, there's obviously less revenue.
That's still pretty healthy though, because I mean that means more than 70% of the SaaS revenue is tied directly to usage in terms of dollars through the platform.
Yep.
Yeah, that's great. Now, most of these 25 folks, where'd you find them? Are they coming from the agency?
No, they're all just basically word of mouth because at Union Square Media, we're known as the native media buyers. So if you're trying to get a lot of traffic very fast, a lot of people come into our agency, and we have affiliates as well. So anyone who's doing it the old way, as soon as I show them the new way, it's game over. I mean, you just got to pass that learning curve of obviously any new system that you're learning has a learning curve. But once you're past that, there's no going back.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you peel behind that curtain.
When you say affiliate, so we'll kind of tie this into your CAC, your fully weighted CAC. I imagine you're paying them some kind of reward for that. What is your fully weighted CAC to acquire customers?
So when I'm saying affiliates, I mean affiliates of Union Square Media. So we have our own media buying team, but then let's say if we're not as good as on Google, and we give it that same deal out to an affiliate, they're running it. So it's an affiliate of the agency, not of affiliate of bringing on Maximus new clients.
I see. Okay. So is it too early then to look at like a CAC metric?
Yeah. I mean, we haven't even began the referral program because people are just naturally recommending it because they understand the power of the tool. It's like once they cross over, they're becoming our evangelists.
Yep. Any churn? I know you're only a couple months in.
Yeah. So there's definitely a little bit of churn. I would say about 30%. And it's mostly due to, I don't know how familiar everyone is with how Facebook's working right now, but it's very up and down, especially if you're in e-commerce and a lot of other categories. One day you're doing really well, the next day you're not. So there's a lot of people looking for other solutions besides Facebook and Google, and they naturally come over to native, but it's still number 9 on their things to do list. And if you're not paying attention to anything, you're not going to be good at it, right?
Just to be clear, that's 30%. That's logo churn per month?
No. So like of the total amount of customers we've ever signed up, we've lost so far 30% of them.
But you've been in operation for less than 12 months, so we can assume it's at least 30% annual logo churn.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's what we're basing everything on. But our focus right now is the onboarding and the client success to make sure that those people don't get lost who don't necessarily know what to do but want to learn this new thing. There's a lot of education when it comes to native because everyone's always heard of it, but most people don't do it.
Mm-hmm. And what's the team size focused exclusively on Maximus?
It's about 20.
20. Okay, that's very good. And then so what that means, you have 80, 90, 80 or 70 on the agency?
Yep.
And where's everybody based?
New York, Miami, LA, a couple of people in Austin, and we have a little team in Ukraine and a team in India for localized tech.
Good. So spread out any plans to raise capital for this business or no?
For Maximus, we've thought of it. I mean, there's a lot of different avenues we could go. We could become a network ourselves instead of actually selling into the other networks. We could bring in Facebook and Google as a part of the dashboard. There's a couple other things we want to do, but for right now, we're almost breaking even on the amount of tech we even have. So our main focus is get to break even, refine the customer onboarding process, and then look to see what our next move is.
What month do you think you'll get to break even?
I would say well before the end of the first quarter
of 2019.
Yeah, but we're also adding more tech, right? So every person we add,
you mean more dev, more engineers? Yeah.
So we can go faster. Like we're about to launch a fully automated app, so you don't even have to use it. Once you set it up on the desktop, you can basically control all your buys from the app.
That's great. All right, Josh, let's wrap up with the famous 5. Number 1, what's your favorite business book?
You're breaking up a little.
That's okay. Let's wrap up here with the famous 5. Favorite business book?
Losing My Virginity, Richard Branson.
Number 2, is there a CEO you're following or studying right now?
Not currently.
And number 3, what's your favorite online tool for building your business?
I have to say the thing we use the most is probably Slack for communicating because everyone's all over the place.
Number 4, how many hours of sleep do you get every night?
7 to 8 hours clean.
That's good. And what's your situation? Married, single, kiddos?
married with a 2.5-year-old and a baby boy on the way in December.
Ooh, busy man. How old are you?
42.
42. All right, last question. What do you wish your 20-year-old self knew?
That's a great question. To not focus always on the revenue side of a business, but to focus more on the business itself and building a stable environment to make it actually be a business instead of just a revenue stream.
Guys, there you have it. Focus always, more on the business versus just the short-term revenue. Launched Maximus in 2017, basically spun it out of his agency, which is hugely successful. Part of a basically a conglomerate, which is called Agora up at the top. But in 2017, launches 20 people working on Maximus. Again, about 25 customers today, spending, you call it 75 grand per month in terms of total revenue. 30% annual logo churn to date as they look to kind of fine-tune who the perfect customer is. That team of 20 based out between New York City, Miami, LA, Austin, Ukraine, and India. Bootstrapped so far. Josh, thank you for taking us to the top.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Have a great day.